What's up, fam? It's November 4th, 2022, and it's day 35 of the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. If it's your first time tuning in, what I'm doing here is I'm actually choosing a card a day from T Harv Eker's Millionaire Mind Intensive cards, and I'm reading the message that's on the card, sharing my thoughts on the message, and asking you as a viewer to share your thoughts as well. Possibly you've been using what's on this card and it's been working wonders in your life, or maybe something came up while I was reading it. So just comment below under the video, and hey, I would love to learn from you if it's working wonders, and also just make it a collective learning environment as far as whatever came up while I was reading it. So let's get right into, oh yeah, before that, if it's you missed a day, you could go back to Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Rich Carvajal, and you could, catch up on all the messages that I've shared so far. And also, I'll be sharing the rest of these messages on way up as well in those platforms. All right. So let's just go ahead and get started. We'll go with this one. All right. It says choose both. Choose both. Let's see. So poor people think either or. Rich people think both. You can be kind, generous, loving, spiritual, balanced, do work you love, and be really, really rich. Wow, so choose both. So most of the time, I guess what it's telling us, well, obviously it's saying, poor people are always, debating, oh, I could only have this and not that, right? I could be rich and possibly, I can't be kind. I have to be, an asshole. Which this is just telling us, like, no, like, choose the best of the best life has to offer, because that's what life is, abundant. There's not just like a few chosen individuals that could have it all or have both. We all can. The only difference is what it is that we choose to believe, right? That's why it's telling us choose. And that's the only difference that we have as human beings with any other like species, is the power of choice. Because at the end of the day, we make those choices. No one else makes them for us. We make those choices. And yes, we probably get influenced by others' opinions, but the reality is, at the end, we're the ones who make those choices. And guess what? In life, we're going to make bad choices. But as long as, we take responsibility, as we talked in another card, or we're accountable, we get to learn from those choices, that were wrong. And, we move forward. We don't just play the victim role, and blame others, as we've talked about as well, but we move forward. We take that as a learning experience. We take that as growth, as we talked about yesterday. When those challenges arise, we make that the choice to move forward. So that's what we have to do. Choose both, right? Or choose it all. Just make sure that we're not playing this game of like, oh, well, I could be like this, or I could have this, but not that. No, at the end, the world's abundant. So overall, poor people think either or. Rich people think both. So you can be kind, generous, loving, spiritual, balanced, do work you love, and be really, really rich. So this is really important here, where it says, do work you love. Something that you actually would love to get up early in the morning and do. Or if you're working 15, 20 hours a day at times, that's a long day. But you get so focused into it. Why? Because you love to do it. That's what we need to find. We need to find that particular career or that business that, hey, we could just devote our entire life into it where it doesn't seem like work. It's something that, hey, you love doing this. It drives you. It fills you up with passion, with fulfillment. You just love doing it. And at the same time, while you're doing that, obviously it's paying you the riches that life has to offer, right? Could become really, really rich, as it says. You know why? Because you're doing it. And remember, in these cards, that's why it's so important if you've missed a day to go back. And even if you haven't missed a day, just revisit the cards. Why? Because these messages are so important and they go in hand, right? Because as we're reading one, it relates to others and it builds upon each other. So as it says, really, really rich, it's reminding us how, we have to choose to be rich, right? We have to make that decision, decide to be rich. And we have that opportunity. Everyone has that opportunity. That's why, especially if you're here in the United States of America, the country ahead, it's the reason why others, want to migrate here, want to live here and come to America. And I heard this from Nito Cuban. Nito Cuban. I hope I'm not butchering his name, but he's a powerful guy. And he talks about how, in other countries, individuals hear the stories that the streets of America are paved with gold. That's why they come here. And most of the time they build businesses because that's what they refer to. Like people are walking around ready to spend money, you know, and they come here and they're really successful. Why? Because because the dollar. I mean, so far, even though we hear it being weakened, it's still the currency of the world. So that's why we have the opportunity to be really, really rich. Everyone has that opportunity, especially if you're living here in the States. And not only that, like what others do is, they earn their money here and they live large in other countries because their money, the dollar will go a long way in certain countries. So, let's just make that choice. Choose both, right? We can have it all, and we just have to transition. We have to make the necessary, take the necessary steps needed to grow and obviously, become financially educated as stated in these cards as well. And not only that, like choose our path. Find what it is that really fires us up. And even if you can't do it full time, start on it part time. Become, if it's taking a class to build up your skill sets to make you more valuable, to starting that side business and, making a profit out of it and reinvesting it and, saving some money and reinvesting some money, growing that business, setting up your IRAs, your, if you're into investments, your real estate investments, you love that, your crypto investments, your stock investments, whatever it is, right? Like let's choose and make that choice that, hey, we can have it, not either or, we can have it all. Or maybe not all, but those things that we really want. Right? At the end of the day, we don't need it all. We just need a few things. We only need that piece of the pie. We don't need the whole pie. We only need that piece to really, live a life of fulfillment. But overall, hopefully this was, valuable to you. Choose both. Poor people think either or. Rich people think both. You can be kind, generous, loving, spiritual, balanced, do work you love, and be really, really rich. this is powerful. So I mean, even though we didn't touch on the be kind, be generous, be loving, spiritual, balanced, you know, even though we didn't touch on those, I mean, the the feelings or just being these type of ways, right? Be kind, be generous, be loving, be spiritual, be balanced, right? As we see here, be balanced. At the end of the day, why? Because I heard this too from a trainer. Is most of the time what we're doing is if we're focusing, and that's what happens with focus, is that if we're focusing on, let's say, just your career, sometimes and you're putting a lot of hours, let's say 10, 20, 12, 14-hour days, then what does that do? It limits the time that you're going to have for your health, that you're going to have for your family, so you're going to be unbalanced. So at the end, we want to get to that, and you'll hear controversial things of, oh, there's never a balanced life, but you could actually have it. Yes, you'll have more focus on one or the other every, it could be every day. There could be more balance on, there could be unbalance. You could be focused on family more than it is your business, right? But at the end of the day, you don't want to have, more weight on one or more time on one for a long period of time, because that's when burnout happens. That's when we start becoming separated from our families, from our spouses, from our girlfriends. We lose track of our finances. We lose track of our health. So that one's really powerful as well. But all these, but yeah, we'll in the future we'll get more into each one. But I mean, I guess we know the loving part, the spiritual part, being connected with oneself, being generous, giving back, right, and obviously being kind. Jesus changed the world with kindness. That's in the books, in the first book ever created. All right, the Bible. So other than that, let's close it out. Let me know your thoughts. How we're doing with these videos, and comment below, and like it, share it. If these messages are really powerful, as I mentioned, and we're learning together. Something that I'm learning as well, and I would love to learn from you. So comment below, give me your thoughts, and yeah, love you. God bless, and I'll see you tomorrow.